10 years ago, pretty much to this day, I received a letter that, well, what can I say, it brought the walls of my world crashing down around me. It was from the University of Oxford, and it was to, regrettably, at least they said so, inform me that my application in economics would not be proceeding. I didn't even receive an interview. I was incredibly disappointed. I felt that everything I'd been working for the first 18 years of my life was for nothing, and that all of my dreams of my professional and personal life to come were disappeared and just gone. Nada. It was incredibly disappointing. And disappointments like this happen to everyone. It could be university applications, it could be jobs, it could be relationships, it can even be spilling a cup of coffee in your car. Disappointment overcomes everyone. But not everyone overcomes disappointment, sadly. And it really has hit me hard over the last 10 years since that particular instance of disappointment. That disappointment is something that we really should embrace, but also disappointment is something that we should really shape to our advantage, because if we don't, it can be devastating. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's break down what disappointment is, the composition. So disappointment essentially has two components. You take the height of your expectations and you deduct from that the reality of your outcome, and that gap between the two, what you expected would happen, what you hoped would happen, and what actually happened, is your disappointment. So to face less disappointment, according to logic, we need to either lower our expectations or we need to raise our outcomes. And rightly so, we focus on the latter. We work to raise our outcomes through self-development, through learning and trying to be better. That's why self-development is so crucial. But perhaps even more crucial is kindness. For most of my life, actually, I reflected that I have found myself to be the greatest critic of myself. And to make matters worse, I actually disguised this as having high standards, and I was proud of being a self-critic. But actually, these standards, they ate away at me. They left me less capable of reaching and less ready to meet those standards. And this generated a vicious cycle of self-criticism that only made things worse for me when it comes to mental well-being. What changed all of this and how I looked at myself was when I spoke with a very close friend who told me this. He asked me a question. He said, "Mubashir, how would you feel saying these words of self-criticism that you say to yourself on a regular basis? How would you feel saying any of these things to someone else, whether that's a close friend or whether that's a complete stranger?" My reaction was, I'd feel terrible. I wouldn't dream of saying such things to anyone else. And then it hit me that I had made this manifestation of disappointment, this self-criticism, this lack of self-kindness, I had made it acceptable to me, when I wouldn't hold it acceptable to anyone in the rest of the world. Now, disappointment is necessary, it's fundamental, it's crucial to life, and it's inevitable in many, many ways. Disappointment's the dark that makes the light of success shine oh so bright. And when it hits us, actually, disappointment, we need to feel it. Disappointment is not something that we just sweep under the rug and try and avoid. When it comes to us, we need time to process it and really let it pass through us. But in this process, disappointment shapes us. Typically, there are two routes. Disappointment can either make us better, or disappointment can either make us worse. And it's up to us, really, to be kind to ourselves, as well as taking our learnings from disappointments, to make sure that we achieve the former and that we improve through our disappointments rather than bring ourselves down and inevitably face even more disappointments. So next time you feel disappointed, and you will feel disappointed at some point in life, it's inevitable, and you feel self-critical and you start saying things to yourself, take a moment to pause and think, would I say those things to someone else? And grab that opportunity to shape that disappointment by being kind to yourself into betterment.